You are listening to the Health and Wellness Podcast, curated by Dr. Lori Marzell. Dr. Marzell is a primary care physician and a certified menopause practitioner that combines the wisdom of natural medicine with modern medicine to help maintain optimal health. She has a special focus in food allergies and bioidentical hormone replacement. Thank you so much for being here. Enjoy the show.
Hi, this is Dr. Marzell. Today I'd like to talk a little bit about foods that will nourish not only your body, but particularly for your brain. Now, one thing that is very fascinating to me is the effect that berries have on brain function. I usually attend a berry conference, believe it or not, every year where an entire group of people studying at one of the universities get together and share research. The research is pretty fascinating. Anyways, berries have a variety of chemicals, flavonoids, anthocyanin, and phenolic acids. And these chemicals have potent effects on human tissues. They are very strong anti-inflammatory effects, anti-cancer, anti-diabetes, and generally pro-health. But the most fascinating studies that I have seen were the effects on brain function. Let me talk to you about one study I was absolutely fascinated with, and I'm sure that you will be as well. This study was 14 healthy children aged 7 to 10 years. Some were fed a blueberry drink, some were fed a sugary drink, and some a vitamin C drink. All children were given cognitive challenges 2 hours later. These kids went through all kinds of interesting poor kids, but they had EEG tracings done, and they assigned them to different tasks and evaluated how they were functioning after their exposure to either the blueberries or the sugar or vitamin C. The kids who had the blueberry drinks had improved accuracy and reaction time for cognitive tests. The test responses coincided with the frontal areas of the brain showing much more activity in this area. This area is also called the executive function, or the area of the brain where you make decisions, you carry them out, stick with them, things like that. The findings supported prior research, which was also stunning in another blueberry study. It showed short-term improvements in 7 to 10-year-old children in executive functioning, verbal memory, and mood. 1, 2, 3, and even 6 hours after consumption of a beverage containing 127 to 253 milligrams of anthocyanins from the blueberries. So blueberries are looking pretty good. If you want your children to perform well in school, and even if you want yourself to perform better. A study was done of older adults. Well, it's good that they didn't just shut us out, isn't it? Ages 68 to 75 years of age. And they found that consumption of as low as 7 milligrams of anthocyanins increased cognition, mood, and decreased blood pressure in 2 to 4 hours. 14 milligrams was needed to decrease blood pressure beyond just a little bit. So that's still a low dose to take, particularly in comparison to children who were in a prior study. The research on berries and the quick and positive response to the brain was very impressive. And I think I remember attending this particular lecture when one of these studies was presented. And I was sitting there in quite a large room full of other researchers and people who were selling berry products or farming with blueberries and so on. And when they said this study, and I said, you mean to tell me there's a difference in 2 hours or something, kids given berries? And 2 hours later, they're in school or something, and they're functioning better and thinking better and performing better. And they just kind of looked at me and said, yeah. And I said, well, that's fascinating. The timely response was absolutely astounding to me. But all these people in the room knew about it. But these are people that go to these type of seminars, attend this research, and do research of this level on their own with a variety of food substances, but particularly berries. So all berries are good. Some are better than the others. The ones, let me talk about blueberries for just a minute, because I didn't realize until a few years ago how many different varieties of blueberries there are. And one thing is very important to note: if you want to get the maximum amount of good chemicals in berries, look for wild blueberries. You can actually buy these frozen, and the people of Maine will probably thank you for getting their products, because there's a lot of blueberries in Maine. It also, for those people who are on the rush, you can freeze-dried berries, and they will not damage the chemicals in them that affect the brain in a good way, but not only the brain, but your entire body. If you decrease inflammation in the body, you decrease swelling, you decrease wear and tear. It's just so much better. So think about blueberries and maybe some other berries. Oh, raspberries also work. I want to mention that. And the best, there is one that's particularly good, and that is black raspberries. So if you're musing about getting a raspberry bush this year for your summer garden, consider black raspberries. They are really good for you and good for your brain. Take care.
Thank you so much for listening. If you learned something, don't forget to share with a friend. You can visit us at www.drmarzell.com. We create content for you. If there's a subject we have not discussed or a topic you want to dive deeper into, let us know how we can empower you. Questions can be submitted on our website under the podcast page. Until next time.